Welcome into game night. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm here with Jake Rom. Good to be with you, Jake.
I'm a little underdressed, I can tell.
That's okay. Well,
you just came right off set, so I mean, you're looking
got
a
that
lot more fly. I got the new
fancy new polo.
it's backwards. I forget. There you go.
It's backwards.
Represent. Well, it's mirrored.
Oh, I see.
Mirrored.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was backwards
yeah.
on the shirt. What may have been backwards was the way the Commanders looked at the castle in Owings Mills yesterday. We were there for it. It was not pleasant. This was pleasant.
That was
Sonny
nice.
Styles making a nice play. You got a great shot of that, but there's a lot to be concerned about.
Yeah, there is. And obviously I was on the defensive side of the ball with them going up against the Ravens, so I saw a lot more positivity with the Ravens side of things, but you can take it with a grain of salt in certain ways, especially I think on the defensive side of things when it came to the front four. Can't take too much away because of the fact that you had so many guys out up front. Chason was out. Owe was out. Deron Payne did not practice yesterday. So you didn't have 3 of the 4 guys up front. So when it came to 11s and whatnot, what you saw, and I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday as well, you didn't see as much pressure. What concerned me is not seeing Zay Flowers out there and seeing Rashad Bateman run rub shot on everybody. It didn't look good in that instant, but it's a joint practice. It's preseason. I'm trying my best not to get over whatever the word is, overreacted, I guess, from what we saw at joint practice, but it's hard not to. Alex?
Well, who's hosting the show? What concerns,
well, I know you have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what concerns me is the Ravens have a new head coach in Jesse Minter. I know he's been there before, has that tie to the team, but it's a new system. It's a new year for them. The Commanders, this is year 3 for Dan Quinn. I know there was a lot of adversity last year. I know there's a lot of injuries, but everyone in the NFL right now has injuries. A team should look more prepared than this. I'm worried about where the offensive line is at. I'm worried about where the defense is at. I'm worried about where this whole team is at. I'm not worried about where Jaden's at, but I'm worried about his ability to stay on the field. So there were some positives out there in the practice. I will say that, and I especially point to the end of that practice, right? We saw Mikey Sarah still come up with an interception. We saw Antonio Williams score a touchdown, which might have been a sack in real life, but Jaden gave us a throw that was kind of reminiscent of some of the throws we saw from him his rookie year. So Jaden, I'm actually not worried about at all, but I'm worried about Jaden's well-being behind that offensive line. But we did talk to Mikey Samer still after practice. We talked to Jeremy Reeves. You heard yesterday, Revo, very concerned, very passionate, and that's what I want to see from all of them. He seemed to be the only one after that practice that was like, we got to get our blank together, you know? So we talked to Samer still afterwards. He was also kind of pretty honest about what was going on. Here's our conversation with Mikey. With the ups and downs overall for the team as a whole in this practice, how nice was it? How did it feel to get that pick at the end and kind of show the Ravens like, okay, we're ending it this way, and then Antonio scores a touchdown too?
Yeah, I think again, just being able to finish fast. That's kind of that is who we are, but we can't be that at the end of the day. It has to be that from the very jump. But the game of football, there's obviously those are NFL guys as well. Coach Q said there's no team in the NFL that's just going to let you roll over them. So really the focus is just, like I said, just being able to come out, start fast right away. But of course, there's always going to be ups and downs, but it's about how do you respond through those, adverse moments. And, you have to make the decision of how you're going to, go about your business before it starts, while it's happening, and then once it's done as well.
We were just talking to Revo, and he was kind of telling us the stuff you were just mentioning, speaking with a lot of urgency, a lot of passion. I mean, some of the struggles you guys have had in camp, how much is it an emphasis of like, let's make sure we get this together so we're ready on September 13th when we play the Eagles right now?
Again, I think it's just taking advantage of all opportunities every 24 hours. And like when you're on walkthrough, how detailed can you be? When you're in the meeting room, how well are you taking notes? Just making sure everything you're doing is very professional. And, just being able to focus on those times where it's not live, how well can I be with my stuff? How on point can I be with my stuff? And I think just being able to take, sorry about that, just being able to take everything you're learning and applying it to the field. Because, again, at some point we're going to have to go out there and there's going to be no going back. There's not going to be in game you don't get second chance opportunities. So, of course, we want to get it right. And, the sooner you get it right, the better, off you are. But I think we still have time to continue working out the small little kinks of, what needs to be fixed.
And Mike, you talking about some of those lessons he kind of learned from last year, I know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And he talked about this team coming around, this team and guys having to come in and out and just trying to figure out and make it right. Well, one of those guys, the offensive lineman they brought in, DJ Humphries.
Yeah, and I have to say the couple of reps I saw from him looked pretty good. It looked like a guy that started a lot of years for the Arizona Cardinals. We had a chance to talk to him after practice as well.
I know it's early for you here, but how are things being with the Commanders so far?
Man, it's been nice first day. You got to knock a little dust off. Fun being out there with the guys, man. I miss it.
This is an offensive line that's had its fair share of adversity this preseason. How do you feel like you can come in and help them kind of right the ship for the season?
Honestly, my job is to do whatever the team need me to do. I'm not looking at it me righting the ship or nothing like that. I got 1/11th of a job, and whatever time I get to do that 1/11th, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability to try to help the team any way I can. But
what are your thoughts about yourself?
I'm not the savior though.
And just real quick, between Brandon Coleman, Josh Connerly, what can you say about these young guys and what you see from them and their talents?
Bro, it's so funny like seeing these young guys. One of the guys came up to me today, was like, man, early in my career, I was watching. I said, hey man, don't say that out loud anymore, right? You said it to me and I heard you. But it's so cool to watch all these young kids look like babies in the face, but they're giants and they're just running around throwing their hands, and it's like they got so much growth that they can do, and they're so receptive. Everybody seems super receptive to the old man trying to tell them something. So it's been real cool the first 2 days. It's been nice being around the guys.
So I do really want to see DJ Humphries Friday night at M&T Bank Stadium on the field. I want to see him. To be honest with you, I think every single offensive lineman that's not named Sam Cosmi and probably Nick Allegretti, if somehow he was able to play, everyone else should be in that game because Josh Connerly has more to prove for me. There's going to be backups out there for the Ravens. Yeah. I want Josh Connerly in that game, and I want him to show that he can dominate against backups in game action. I think we need to see it.
I think what you could also see, and I'll be quick on this, is if Coleman starts at left tackle, maybe later in the game when you bring Humphries in, you put him at left guard.
Yeah.
See what that tandem is like on the left side. I think it could be better than worse.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I want to see what Julian Good-Jones can do. I want to see what Matt Golden can do. We're always looking all over the field at games, and we will tomorrow night, but I am going to be zeroed in on that offensive line because that's the biggest concern right now for this team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Well, we will be right back because we've got a big team in our countdown to kickoff coming up. That's next. Welcome back into Game Night. We're continuing our countdown to kickoff tonight with what will be the #1 school in our high school football rankings in the preseason, DeMatha football.
That's a good shot.
You like that? I got it today,
like
just a
that
few
helmet,
hours
too.
ago. Yeah, they brought out this whole line of helmets. I was like, I got to get one of these helmets on camera.
Looks good.
I like a good helmet shot in our
It's
videos.
a
They
great
always look good.
establisher.
But DeMatha, it's an interesting season for them. They're coming off the WCAC title. They've got a ton of D1 talent on that team, probably more than you even think. I mean, they've got, I think, 6 or 7 guys, and that was an unintentional 6, 7 in the top 25 of Maryland high school football rankings for prospects for the college level. And head coach Bill McGregor has had to step away with a leave of absence, bringing in Bryce Bevel, an alum of the school, to take over as head coach. Bryce Bevel has been on the staffs at Maryland, at Howard, and most recently spent, I believe, about 6 or 7 years with the New York Jets as a part of their player staff over there. Not player development, but I believe player relationships and stuff like that.
I mean, you're going to bring in a good coach for a program like this that's an absolute powerhouse. So no surprise there that they're bringing in a guy with a lot of credentials, because this is exactly what this program deserves, is somebody that has to follow in the footsteps of a Bill McGregor who's an absolute legend.
Yeah, and the big thing with these kids, they feel like they're lucky to have learned from both these coaches now, and excited to see what they can do with Bryce Bevel playing Archbishop Spalding in week 1 is their first game at DeMatha tomorrow night. But here is some of the stuff we talked to the Stags about today.
1986 is when my freshman year was at DeMatha, and now coming back to be the head football coach this year. 2026 is 40 years. We get an opportunity of a new generation and influence a new generation of football, and taking a baton that Bill McGregor has so graciously put together and set forth. It's been an awesome experience. Our players have done an amazing job just paying attention, focusing on technique, focusing on plays, giving great effort, and learning what we do and how we go about doing it.
It's amazing because with Coach McGregor, he's been here for a long time, and even good with Coach Bevel as well, because he was in our shoes, so he knows what it's like to be a DeMatha football player, a DeMatha champion. So having a guy who's like in our shoes kind of makes it easier for us to compete and win.
I've always been a leader, but he's really brought out my leadership skills. It's been great being around him since he came to the school in February, and it's just great to be around him. Our work ethic, our schedule, the way we do things around here, and the way we move around, the way we talk, the way our plays are ran, everything is at a higher level, and the intensity is always on 1,000.
All right, well, Jake, the high school football season is here. I know the famous line you had a few years ago. It's here, it's here, it's really here. What do you think? How excited are you?
Very excited. While you'll be at the Commanders-Ravens preseason game tomorrow, keeping an eye out on how that offensive line looks, I'll be out in Northern Virginia covering Stonebridge-Madison, which feels like the 7th straight year that I've done that matchup on
probably
week 1,
is.
I believe. I think it's been 5 or 6 at least, and taking out the COVID year for sure. But it's exciting time of year. I love highlighting the talent that we have in high school sports, but high school football for sure, because nothing's like Friday nights.
Yeah, we've got the hotbed here of talent in the DMV, and it really is on full display as we see all these guys going to college and the pro level. We had Chop Robinson recently. Caleb Williams, the cover of Madden, as you see Gonzaga on our screen right now. So just super excited. This is kind of your chance to see these guys Friday nights and Thursday nights and Saturday afternoons, like the future of the NFL and the NCAA. So.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Pretty cool. Well, it's also going to be awesome when we hear from Chris Russell coming up. I can't wait for that. Jake Rom spoke to him earlier today. We'll have that next. Welcome back into game night. Jake Rom talked to the Rooster today. What did the Rooster have to say?
A lot. But we had to condense it, of course. We know he can go on for days and days when it comes to anything that you ask the Rooster and Chris Russell. But spoke to him about, obviously, the highs and lows of joint practice, what he saw through the lens of what other people saw because he wasn't there. Here are his thoughts.
In talking to a couple of people that were there, so let me be clear, including one on the Ravens side, they said it was obviously more slanted heavily towards the Ravens. Not that the Commanders didn't make a few plays and didn't compete, but it was very one-sided. Now, most people would say, Jake, well, of course it's the Ravens, right? It's John Harbaugh, it's Lamar Jackson, except it's not Harbaugh anymore, right? It's Jesse Minter. And yes, Lamar is still there. And yes, the Commanders didn't have their pass rushers. I had forgotten about Deron Payne, but, which you reminded me of before we started doing this, but no Caleb Chason, as it's been like the last week and a half. No Adofe Awe. That certainly affects what you can do in terms of saying, okay, we might have struggled on offense, but darn it, we were on it on defense, right? We really took the day to them. Well, when you can't do that because of injuries, because of whatever, and then you get as thoroughly dominated as they seem to get, and some of that was, again, injury related on the offense. I mean, it's worrisome, especially because Dan Quinn put so much verbal emphasis on this, and we know he does not value or care about preseason games like I believe he should, and therefore I'm not expecting 30-ish guys to play on Friday evening at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. So this was really kind of like the last major dress rehearsal, if you will, and if it was, it didn't look very good for the Commanders.
All right, didn't look very good for the Commanders. But, Jake, the Spirit are mostly looking good, right?
Yeah, they are. They're coming off a loss against Bay FC, or not Bay FC. They're playing Bay FC this Sunday. Last weekend, they lost to Orlando 1-0. But when they're losing, they still look good because it's so many chances, but they're just not getting into the back of the net. The defense still looks good, only giving up 1 goal in the 4th minute. So they're still looking like a top team. They're still second in the NWSL. They're still going to contend for the Shield and, of course, an NWSL championship once playoffs comes around because they're basically guaranteed a playoff spot already unless we have some cataclysmic collapse at the end of this season. But I caught up with defender Esme Morgan earlier today and kind of talked to her about how things have been going, and especially with that back front and their goalkeeper as the season's gone on.
Yeah, I think good understanding, good communication. At the start of the season, we were conceding more than we would have liked, but I feel like we did a really good job of picking out the things that we needed to change and do better and working on those. And then since then, only really the North Carolina game when we had 15 crazy bad minutes. I think we've been really solid defensively outside of that. So we're really kind of happy with the progress and the foundation that we're setting through games. And yeah, I think Sandy's done an amazing job of kind of stepping into that number one role. Obviously, she hadn't played consistently for several years, being injured and at other teams. So it's tough coming into that and having that consistency, but I think she's done great and she's a great communicator, which helps the rest of us in front. And I think we all have a good understanding of each other's habits and like tendencies, like when we're dealing with certain players, what our strengths are, and knowing how to cover one another and being able to communicate who's dealing with what forward. So we've got a good understanding. I think there's always room to improve, especially organising the rest defence when we're in possession, finding that balance of being available to support the attack, but then making sure we're dealing with the players that the opposition have, because every team in this league has such dangerous forwards on the transition. So you can get caught out in those moments if you're not fully focused and locked on to the players you need to be. So there's always space for us to improve, but I think for the most part we've improved through the season and doing a good job.
You guys sit currently second in the NWSL standings, and yeah, you're coming off a loss, and you have Bay FC obviously this weekend. How do you guys feel like you guys are at this part in the season, knowing that the end goal is to make it back to where you guys have been the last 2 years and hopefully win it this time? But where do you guys feel like you guys are right now? Coming off a loss, going into Bay FC this weekend, as you guys are hopefully playing deep into November like you guys have the last 2 years.
I think determined to get a good result. We like to see Audi as our fortress and our home and a place where it's fun for our fans to come and watch and it's fun for us to play. So us losing a few games in a row there is out of character and something that we're very frustrated about and want to change. So I think the biggest thing for us is just looking ahead at this game we have this weekend and wanting to set that right. Making sure we put in a strong performance and try to be as ruthless as possible at both ends of the pitch, because I think we have played well in the last couple of games. In parts, I think we were good the second half against Angel City, and I actually think we played really well against Orlando and created a lot of chances that had we put them away, we would have seen different results. So we want to just keep that momentum of the performance where we demonstrated control, we created chances, we spent a lot of time in the opposition final third. So tried to take that forward into all of our performances and play with a bit of freedom and confidence in front of goal and try to be as clinical as we can when we get those opportunities. But yeah, it's hurtful for us that we haven't won in front of our fans recently, so that's something we want to change this weekend.
How have you seen your game grow since coming over to the NWSL a couple of years ago? And do you feel like there's still more that you need to learn about this league, or do you feel like you feel very comfortable where you're at as a defender in this league?
I wouldn't say comfortable. I think every single week it's a tough challenge because there are such dangerous forwards that I come up against. So I definitely don't feel comfortable and settled, and I still feel that I have room for growth here, particularly in the defensive side of the game, because that's where you're challenged the most, or at least where I feel I'm challenged the most. And that's also the area that I feel I've come on a lot since arriving, just in terms of being more aggressive in my duels, winning more duels in the air as well. I'm still learning how to deal with these super physical, dangerous attackers, and it's something that is week to week. There's ups and downs, but just try to review the performance and see what I could do differently and then work on it in training. And that cycle since I arrived has really helped me to make good strides. But yeah, definitely still feel that there's room to improve. Until I win every single duel, then there's always room to improve. So
All right, great stuff, Jake. The king of Washington Spirit coverage over here. The king of Washington Spirit coverage of the mayor of Vienna and Northern Virginia and all that. I mean,
Mr. George Mason, I think you've called me before.
Yeah. Is the game at Madison or Stonebridge?
That's Stonebridge.
Oh, okay.
Which is-
So
which
they
is big.
still like you there, I think.
Stonebridge?
But Madison, you were like their hero.
I don't know about hero.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
All right. Well, we got a little bit more. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back into Game Night. Alex Flum and Jake Rom here. And if you have a chance, go on YouTube, go on DC News Net website, check out Undrafted Opinions. This week, we're counting down the top 25 teams for high school football in the DMV this season.
Yeah, and it's a good list. It's most likely going to be very inaccurate. I feel like we do a decent job.
It's hard to know. We
but
don't
it's
usually do a
very hard to
preseason
know.
one. This year, we're like,
Yeah, I don't know if we have.
Yeah, we've talked to like 50 teams. We're like, we got to do it this year, especially.
We've talked to enough to have a certain idea, but there's always going to be like a team or two that we didn't have on the list last year.
Sure.
Like I don't know, like a Paul the Sixth.
I don't think we had Churchill on the list at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
they might not have been last year because
right.
I think they had a down year the one year
and
between.
They ended. I don't know if they ended top 10, but they ended close to it because
Yeah.
they went pretty far last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love seeing how it shapes up. I know every year you text me at the end of the year and you're like, X amount of teams that started in it, finished in it, and we did okay or whatever. Like, so.
Yeah, but usually we're going back to like week
See how it
3,
is,
so I
but-
think it'll be really interesting to go back
it'll be
to
interesting.
week 1. All right, well, check that out. Check out all our Undrafted Opinions episodes. Everybody's got some great CTV shows here, is what they call them. Dave Lavelle as Beyond the Game, a bunch of other shows we got. Be sure to check them all out. But Dave is the other sports one. But yeah, so for Jake Rom, I'm Alex Flum. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night.